Good Monday to you, everybody in GOV 603. Welcome to week boom 2. How's everybody doing? Let's get this week started. In the right way. Only my mustache, I think. Let's comb that out. How's everybody doing? All right, I'm back now. Your sufficiently caffeinated instructor, as always, ready here to serve you. Welcome to week 2. How's everything going for you? Are you settling in now to the routine? Coming back from the summer, I hope you got a little bit of a break. Okay. So for those of you who have never had me before, which I think is most of you in this class, and we have 2 sections, by the way. We have a 02 and a 05. So I'm posting material, back and forth. And I don't think that there's any way for the 2 sections to communicate back and forth across Canvas with each other, which is too bad because you could use each other as a resource, but so goes the digital age that we live in. But anyway, so I am posting this back and forth, and I'm trying my doggondest, excuse me, a little tickle in my nose, to make sure that everybody gets exactly the same thing. All right, so we finished with week 1. You've completed your participation exercise, that is, in doing the syllabus quiz. And, the secret behind that quiz is it's the only thing it's really worth is you staying in the class, which I suppose is everything. That is, as a school that has students who receive federal money, which is, most every accredited university and college, Regent is required to show that the people who are in online courses are actually, number 1, participating in the course, and number 2, actually live people. Because believe it or not, there are people out there who sign up for online college courses, take federal money, and then never take the course, but keep the money. Or even worse, there are people who create phony, bogus profiles for non-existent people that then sign up, sort of like ghost accounts, sign up for courses and then take the money. And the university has to demonstrate that everybody who signed up for a course is actually participating in the course, or we lose our eligibility to take students who take federal money. So that's what the syllabus quiz is for. Okay. All right. So for those of you still getting used to Canvas, and I'm getting, not a blizzard, but a spat of questions from you saying, hey, I'm not quite sure. How do I do this? Where do I respond to that? I will get to your questions as quickly as I can. I've got a lot of students this semester. So if you have a question about Canvas, that is how you perform a certain function or where you go to find a certain thing, and that, in those instances, Google is your friend and YouTube is your bestie friend. The company, I think Canvas is now owned by Microsoft, but the company that came up with it, there's no shortage of people that they hired to do videos. It shows you all and every function you could possibly have a question about. So just type it in. You'll probably get an answer really quickly. Okay. So what I want you to do each week is, like on Mondays, come in, check the announcement section. All right. You'll see what we're doing for the week. You're going to get 2 videos each week. At the beginning of the week, which is now, you'll get a video which talks about what we're going to be doing this week. So what you need to be on top of, what the reading material is, what the assignments are. I'll make you aware of due dates that are coming up. All right. And then the second video, which you'll get tomorrow, I will review what you did the week before. So I'll give you some feedback as to how you are doing. I'll go through and give you the answers to the questions that I posed, because there is a midterm and a final exam in this class. And then both the midterm, and the final exam will be drawn from the material that make up the discussion questions. All right. So that's how we're going to do it. So come on in, look at the announcements. And then right after announcements, do this on Monday morning as you wake up and you enjoy the day dawning, and you sip your coffee, get onto Canvas to GOV 603. After you look at the announcements, go to the modules. Each week, all right, the modules will contain, week by week, They'll contain at least 3 parts. The overview, that is sort of the big picture of what we're doing this week. The study, that is these are the materials that you need to cover. For the first part of this week, and I hope everybody now has their texts. The Howard text, Thinking Like a Political Scientist. You're going to like these texts. These are good books. These are books you're going to want to keep on your shelf. And then Empirical Research and Writing by Pauner. Okay. Leanne, and great authors, one and all. In the study module, I will give you what it is that we are going to be using this week. So if that's additional PDFs, then I'll give it to you. If you go to I've put links, I've embedded links in the syllabus to additional readings. So if you see, consult the syllabus for additional readings, then open up the syllabus and pull it out of there. All right. So once you open up modules and you read the overview and then you read the study, if you go to the assignments, it'll say assignment description, or maybe it should just say assignments. I don't know. Anyway, in there, you're going to get what it is we're doing for this week. So what are we doing this week? All right. So I've got a couple of chapters for you from Johnson's book that I want you to read. And then I've got a couple of articles attached to the syllabus that I want you to read. And then there are 4 discussion questions that I want you to answer. And in Canvas, if you click on discussion, then you will see, and I'll label these the same every single week. It'll be week 1, question 1, or, week 2, question 1, like for this week. Week 2, question 3, week 2, question 4, stuff like that. All right. So then you click on, you answer the questions. You do that by hitting reply. And then, I'm sorry, I think, what I did is I typed the number of replies that I wanted you to reply to your fellow classmates. I think I had 2 separate numbers. I think I may have said 4 and then 3. It's 3. I want you to reply to at least 3 of your classmates per question. All right. So you'll find that in the modules under assignments, and then it'll link you right over to discussions as soon as you go over there. Okay. So that's how you navigate your way through Canvas week by week and throughout the remainder of the semester. Okay, so let's take a look at what it is that we're going to be doing specifically this week. 2 things. So we're continuing our readings in Johnson. I want you to start thinking about, this first part of the semester, we're going to drill down on terms. You can't get to, and we're going to be doing some quantitative methodology, some of the real common kinds of tests, but you can't get to getting your head and your hands around the tests if you don't understand what the terminology is. So if you don't understand what a design is, if you don't understand what a hypothesis means, if you don't understand what a variable means, or what makes up a hypothesis as to opposed to a research question. Okay, so you gotta, we're gathering the bricks together that we're going to use to build the structure that is your understanding of empirical research within the political sciences. All right. So that's what the readings are focused on this week. And in addition to some of the basic terms, we're going to be looking at some of the basic, the sort of underlying essentials of the process. So what is a literature review and why should you begin with it? Why is it, what do we mean when we say blind spot? Why is this a really big thing in research that you've got to watch out for as a researcher? What is it and how do you avoid it? These sorts of big picture conceptualizations. And by the way, I don't like the use of that word. Many people say the concept, when actually what they mean to say, what they should be saying is the project, the design, the process. So don't use that word. Okay, unless you're very careful about how it is that you use it. All right. So, in addition to this week's readings and the discussion questions, I want you also, and you'll find this in the module, I want you also to download the sheet which describes your semester paper. You're going to do a research design project in this class. All right. What, you might be saying, in the world is a research design project? Well, unlike an actual paper, all right, you will not be conducting the research. You're going to propose the research. Think of this like you are applying for money to do this research. And you're going to describe to your would-be funders what you would do if you did this research. Okay? But just like an actual research project, you've got to lay out all of the parts. All right? So we're going to do this paper in 2 parts. And I'll explain to you why here in just a second. Part 1, which is due on September 24th, you're going to select a topic. And if you go over into the discussions in Canvas, there is a link there for you to post your paper topic. You must do this by the end of this week. That is before clock strikes midnight on September the 4th, Eastern Daylight Time. Post your topic. All right. Then you also must write an introduction to your research design. This is all in the sheet, by the way. Okay. You must write a literature review. You must create a methodology section. And if you're not familiar with how you do any parts of these sections in a research design project, find an appropriate resource. Google is your friend. All right. And you might be saying, well, hey, man, what am I enrolled in this class for if you're just going to send me online? All right. Look, I'm not trying to take anything away from you by not explaining all of these things in detail to you. Actually, I'm trying to give something to you. Because one of the things that I want you to keep your eye on as you move through your career at Region, and especially as you develop, some of you I know are in political science, and that's going to be your bent. Some of you are headed into law. Some of you are coming over from the communication department, all sorts of different places. Okay, I get that. But as you progress down whatever road it is your feet are upon, the main thing I want you to focus on, not so much of memorizing all of the names, the titles, the theories, the processes. Those are important. I'm not saying don't do that. If you're going to build a building, you have to collect the bricks. You've got to get particulars. But what I want you to focus on is the process. I want you to learn how you can quickly find something out and distinguish between sources that are authoritative and sources that are crap. Sources that are authoritative are a use to you. Sources that are crap are not only not a use to you, they are a liability. If you can't develop a nose for what's a good source and what's junk in your professional career, this is a tremendous hindrance to you. Focus on that process. So it's in that spirit, maybe the word is, that I'm not going to give you all, the information about, say, how you construct an introduction, how you construct a literature review, how you construct a methodology. All right. So you do that for part 1. Now, we're not doing 2 papers. We're doing 1 paper, but in 2 parts. You do that for part 1, then you turn it in. I will grade these rigorously and give you a lot of what I hope is helpful feedback. All right. I'm going to look very carefully at your writing ability. I'm going to look very carefully at your organizational ability. I'm going to look very carefully at your depth and breadth of knowledge concerning research. And then I'm going to give you sort of a deep dive into by way of feedback. None of what I will tell you is meant to upset you. All right. I'm here to help you develop as a professional. And, you always hear it said that, well, writing is a process and research is a process. Okay, fine. I'm going to take that at face value. And so here's how I construct the process for the papers that I give in my class. You turn in part 1. Okay, you're only going to do 1 paper, but you're going to break it in 2 parts. You turn in part 1. I will grade it and turn it back to you. If you don't, now if your grade falls below a certain level, I'll be reaching out to you and say, hey, let's talk a little bit about your writing. Let's talk a little bit about your research. Let's talk a little bit about your organizational skills. And I'll give you resources to get those up to speed. That's part of the learning process. But if you get a grade that, doesn't rock your socks, that you're not thrilled with, despair not, because come part 2, and that's also described in the sheet, when you finalize the paper and turn it in at the end of the semester, due date December 3rd, if you go back and make the changes that I point out in part 1, if you amplify the things that you're doing well that I point out in part 1, and you continue that into part 2, whatever your grade is on part 1, if you get a higher grade on part 2, I will raise your grade in part 1 to equal that. Okay? Because it is a process, and it is something that we work at, and it is something that we just get better by practice. Writing is a craft, and you only get better by practicing it. Okay, so for this week, by way of the modules, so if you look in the modules, you'll see under assignments, so there are the pages to read, and then there is this sheet to download, and then over in the discussion section, there is a place for you to post your research topic. Now, remember, and I'm sorry for repeating myself, but it seems like there are always a couple people that get confused about this. This is not an actual research project. This is a proposal. But that doesn't mean that your proposal is going to be, like, oh, I propose to flap my arms and fly around a campaign rally and see how that affects voter turnout. It has to be something that you could actually do. You don't have to actually do it, but it has to be within the realms. I don't know why I thought flap my arms campaign rally. I guess because at least on the Republican side, the candidates are out now, pressing the flesh, as the expression goes, and gearing up already for the primary season of 2024. It'll be interesting to see what develops on the side of the other ticket, the other party, the Democrat Party, for this year. Okay, well, there's a lot of interesting possibilities by way of political science research developing in this, at least for the election for the executive office of 2024. Okay, so remember that it's not something that you have to do in terms of a project that you do, but it's something that could be done. Okay, all right, everybody, please get on to the Blackboard. Sorry. Yeah. we have the Canvas people, watching us carefully. You're not mentioning that other system. No. All right, get on to Canvas. Always look at the announcements. Always go into the modules. Look at get the reading material. Start through it. Get this sheet. Start posting your paper topics. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I will always try to get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, everybody. I think about you. I pray about you often. I hope that you have a tremendous week, and I will see you on Canvas. God bless. Bye-bye.